Hello friends, welcome to Databricks video tutorials, and today's session I am going to give you examples on DB utilities. Like if you are working in Databricks, you should know all these basic things related to Databricks utilities. So DB means Databricks and utilities. So these are the utilities we need to use based on your requirement. If you are working on data science or machine learning or ETL projects or data engineering, whatever you have a requirement, but if you're working in Databricks, you should know these all things and how to use all these DB utilities to improve your coding skills or to improve your performance, whatever it is. So I will tell you a few things which is frequently we can use these things, and it will help us like copying files or creating files, creating directories. So these are all the commands we can use instead of going for again language like Scala or Python or R. So just we can use these commands. So let's start with the DB utilities. So DB utilities .help, it will show you list of methods, available methods in this DB utilities. So DB utilities majorly file system is available, like file related. If you want to copy file, if you want to list the files, so like this all related to FS. And other one is library. Default one is the credentials are available, that we will discuss later. It's all are like huge subjects. Then another one is metadata related, and notebooks related, and the preview part, secrets and widgets. So in all this majorly we will use FS frequently. I mean frequently we will use FS, notebook and widgets, and somewhere we can use secrets. So let's start with one by one how to use this. For example, if you want to know related to FS, so just you can type FS help. It's a file system, Databricks file system, which is available all related. So FS related, first whenever you are working with Azure, you need to mount the file system, whatever you are using the Databricks to Azure blob storage. First you need to mount the file system, then you can go for copying files and creating files, reading files, listing files, moving files. This all commands is available. That's you can see here, CP copying file, okay, and head reading the file, ls listing the files, mkdir. So only difference you can find here, normally in Linux we will use mkdir, but here mkdir, yes. Okay, this is the one thing you need to remember whenever you are going to use this FS. Okay, then mv moving the file, putting a file and removing a file. So these all commands which we can use FS file system related. For example, I will tell you. So there are two ways we can use. One is %fs file system. If you want to list the files, just ls, and I want to list the files from directory temp. So this is one method, like %fs also we can use file system. Another one is dbfs. So Databricks file system. Here you can see these all the files is available, like folders, other things. So this is related to same thing. Here instead of ls we can use a copy, move, all commands we can use. Then another one is dbfs. So these are the dbs file system, right? Whenever you are using a file system, so then you can use the db utilities.fs instead of %fs we can use db utilities.fs. If you want to list the files, then you can give single quotes or double quotes. Like this. But only difference here, the format, output format, it is giving a different format, right? Because it's a text format. You want display as a table format, just go with display. So %fs we can use, dbutilities.fs. These are all the options we can use. Like here you can see it is displaying a table format if you use display. So this is the way we can go for using DBUTILS fs. Fs means file system, Databricks file system. So there you can, whatever the mounted file system, you can copy, paste, like a copy, remove. This is all the put, mkdir. I will show you. I have already written some examples. There are many things are there, but this is our frequently we will use here. I am making directory. So whenever you are creating directories, you should remember that mk, instead of mkdir, we need to use mkdirs. Okay. See, true, it will return true or false. True means it is created. Okay, then you can just verify. Yeah, it is available. Then put means if you want to create any file or put a file, we can use put. Just I am creating another command where I will show you this. So put, this is the location I am creating a file, and this is the text inside that file. Yeah, so here you can see wrote 13 bytes and true. True means it is written true, the file has been created. Just you can use ls, you can see the file has been created or not. Here you can see the file is available. If you want a table format, you can use display method. So it will display a table format. That result set, it will display table format. Then other one is we have a head reading the file. So whatever you have created a file, if you want to read, just instead of put, you have to use head. Yeah, here you can see whatever we have written in this file, it's there, hello world. Then if you want to remove that file, just rm. Okay, and there is another parameter if you are going to use rm, that I will tell you. We will run this again. We will create a file. So whenever you are deleting directories, rm. So what I am doing, instead of deleting a file, I am going to drop this folder. See, it is throwing exception because this folder is not empty. So whenever if you have a folders, multiple folders there inside files are available, you cannot directly remove those. So what we can do, there is a parameter, is second parameter true. Recursively just remove that. So that folder has been removed now. So you can do ls again. Yeah, see, file not found exception because we dropped that. Then what we can do, we can create it again. So this is the way we can go for file system related commands. Same thing, copy, put, remove, everything we can use fs, that's the %fs. So this is all are related to fs related. Okay, then mount related. So currently I don't have a Azure blob storage to show you mount. So we'll show you other session how to mount a file system. That's a very important for working in Azure Databricks. This is a very like a mount, unmount, refresh. These three things are very important. So I will show you later. The next one is calling your runbooks. How to call runbooks from one runbook to another runbook. So we can use, so if you want to know the help, you can use notebook help. So it will show you related command. So we have two commands, run and exit. So this exit command is very important if you are calling your Azure Databricks in Azure Data Factory. So whenever you want to exit this this notebook and you want to return some status values or return some input or output values, we can use this exit. And run means running your notebook. Okay, that I will show you. I have already a few commands already written here. This. So this run will have two parameters. Run will have two parameters. One is that path, runbook path, and second parameter is timeout error. It's a seconds. Just you can use DBUTILS.notebook.run. So whenever you are going to use this in trial version, you cannot use this run. So that's with premium subscription you can use this. That's why it is throwing error. But just I'm giving a command how to use this. Another command is exit. So exit, we don't need to give any parameter. Like parameter means we don't need to give any notebook name. Just we need to give some values to use wherever you want to exit. So I'm using here some parameter value. Any value you can use. That value you can use in your, see here, notebook exited. Okay. So if you have 50 commands, if you run from beginning, what will happen? It will exit here. It won't go next command. So that is the concept of exit. Exiting this notebook. Whenever you are executing, then that value, this parameter value, you can use into your Azure ADF. This is very useful because to connecting Azure Databricks notebooks from ADF and tracking that status, it is. So these are the multiple ways you can pass some tables data. There are multiple ways you can use this exit. We'll see in another session. Then other two important thing is percentage run. So DBUTILS major thing we covered. One is the notebook related, another one is the file system. Okay, and regarding widgets, so I will cover in another separate session because it's related to how to create a variables, how to pass values. Those are big concept. I will cover in another session. But this session, very important thing is how to call one notebook into another notebook. So if we can use a percentage run, here you can see this percentage run. If you use percentage run and specify your another notebook name with a location, okay, and there are some other parameters, like if you have any runtime parameters you can pass like this. Just without parameters I am running this. So maybe we need to check this file is available or not, or we can check any other file. I have another notebook name called functions. Just sometimes any spaces are there. Yeah, now here you can see. So it is tricky because whenever you are using this percentage run, any other parameters it won't accept, because whatever we are using this comment section, it won't consider because comment hash is not related to this command. That's why it is throwing error. So like this we can use percentage run and particular notebook name. Then difference between whatever you are using this notebook.run and percentage run. What is the difference? Notebook.run is directly just running your notebook. If you have any dependency variables or anything, you cannot use using this notebook.run. If you have any for example, in this notebook you are calling some constant variables and you are getting some data from a particular table and you want to use those data, we can go for using percentage run. Okay, we can call one notebook into another notebook. Mainly if you have a huge list of constant values where you can declare a config file, that file is one notebook called a config. That run book you can call here and you can use all those config parameters. So this is the way we can go for calling one notebook into another notebook. So this is the major thing which we can use in Databricks. And thank you for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel to get latest updates on my channel. Thank you very much.